Hey guys, welcome to the very last video. The secret word is the meanest thing any kid said to me this year. It was steward, and on my classwork, instead of writing my name, he wrote something like, "Hey, loser." So thank you, steward. I am going to, I probably shouldn't say kill you because this is online. Alright, so it's opposite day, and I'm going to let you live. Okay. This video, some of you are going to be able to skip after you check the answers. At least 30 of you are just totally getting the hang of integers, but the others should really stick around and go over the ones they got wrong. 1 and 2 are -3 and 7. Then we have -1 and -11. -17 and -4/6, or -2/3. On the back we have -3/4 and -60/100. And then number 9 is 2.5, or 2 2/4. And number 10 is 8 6/10. So definitely stop and go over the ones that you needed help on. Alright, so with basic integer problems, it helps to think about an elevator. And you could draw a closed, meaning you could draw every number, or an open, meaning just some of the number line. So if we're starting at 7, imagine this is an elevator that starts at 7. Subtraction tells us that this elevator is going down, and we're going to go down 10. So if we're at 7 and we're going down 10, I know that we're going to make it to the ground floor, and then we're going to go past it a little bit. So first, I'm going to go down 7, which would get us to 0. And then I'm going to go down whatever I have left from the 10, and 10 can break up into a 7 and a 3. So I'm going to go down 3 more, and that would get us our answer of -3. With number 2, we're starting at -4. That's sort of like we have an elevator that's starting 4 floors in the basement. So if this is 0, 4 floors in the basement is going to be below it. And since we're adding, I know that for this problem, we're going up. And we're going up 11. So I know if we're 4 floors in the basement and going up 11, this answer should end up being positive, because you're going to end up above 0. So from -4 up 4, that would get us exactly to 0. And then out of the original 11, if we already used 4, we'd have 7 left over. So I'm going to go up 7 more. And that gets us our final answer of +7. Alright, for number 3, similar to the last problem, because this one's also starting below 0 at -9, and it's also going up because there's addition. But notice that we're adding like a smaller value than 9. So that tells me that we're not even going to make it up to 0. We're going to be at -9, and we're going to go up 8. And as you're in the negatives going closer to 0, it's like the numbers go down. So in a way, this is like 9 minus 8, which give us just 1 below 0, or -1. If that one was confusing at all for some people, you probably should have just started numbering it and going all the way up a total of 8 spaces. And if you were to do that, you should have ended up at -1. Alright, for number 4, I'm going to put my reference point as 0, and we're starting at -4, which is going to be below 0, and then subtraction means we're going down. So in this case, we're 4 floors in the basement, and we're going down an extra 7 floors. So I'm going to go down 7 more. In this case, because we're below 0 and then going deeper, it's sort of like adding. And 4 plus 7 would be 11, so we should end up 11 floors underneath 0. So the answer is -11. Alright, the elevator context still really works here. For this one, we're starting at 35. Subtracting means we're going down, and we're going down 52. So I'm going to start at the 35th floor, and then I want to go down a total of 52 floors. Let's break this one up. I know we're going to make it to 0, So first thing I'm going to do is from this 52, let's kind of use how Sabrina sets it up. I'm going to start by going down 30, which should get me to 5. Then I'm going to go down another 5 because I want to get to 0. So far I've used a 30 and a 5. Let's go down another 10, which would get us to negative 10. Let's see, so far I've used 45. Let's go down another 5, which would give us to negative 15. And then 30 and 10 is 40, plus the 2 5s is 50. So I'm going to go down 2 more, and that would get us to negative 17. You could totally break that up any way you want, as long as you go down a total of 52. All right, so number 6, now we start to get into the 7th grade level problems. So negative 5/6 plus 1/6. I'm going to set up, actually, I'm doing these vertically, so let me do this one vertically too. All right, so negative 5/6. If you're really stuck with these, you could have drawn a closed number line. Here's 0. Below that would be negative 1/6, negative 2/6, negative 3, negative 4/6, negative 5/6, and negative 6/6 would be negative 1 whole. So in this problem, we're starting at negative 5/6, and we're adding a positive number. So it's still sort of like an elevator starting in the basement. It's almost like it's starting at negative 5, and then it goes up 1. So if I'm at negative 5 and I go up 1/6, you should get to negative 4/6, which is your answer. All right, for number 7, we have 1/4 minus 1/2. And we can't really add or subtract anything unless they're the same units. So right now, 1/4, those are like smaller pieces than 1/2. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to rewrite 1/2 as an equivalent fraction out of fourths. I can do that by multiplying by 2/2. And that would give me 2/4. So now the new problem, the negative 1/4 stays the same. The minus sign stays the same, but 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. And then from here, let's see, I'll do this one on an open number line. So if 0's over here, negative 1/4 would be down here. And then we're subtracting, so we're going down. And then if we're below 0 and we go down further, in a way it's like adding. So 1/4 underground, and then 2 more fourths underground would be like negative 3/4, because it's 3/4 below 0. So that's your answer for this one. All right, now we start to get a little tricky, and the cool thing about these is there's so many different ways to solve them. Since we've been talking about decimals a lot, I'm just going to continue that. 3/4 as a decimal, we figured out, I think in part C, that that's the same as 75 hundredths, which I could write like this. And I got to make sure I keep the negative sign because it's negative 3/4 plus 15 hundredths. And then from here, this is definitely an open number line problem because let's throw 0 up over here. Negative 75 hundredths would be down here. Since we're adding, I know we're going up, and we're only going up 15 hundredths, so I know we're not going to make it to 0. So I'm going to go up 15 hundredths. If you're below 0 and you're going closer to 0, in a way it's like the numbers are getting smaller. So that's why this answer should be negative 60 hundredths. All right, last two. Both of these are basically like mixed number problems, except one of them has them in decimal form. All right, so I'm going to start with my open number line. I'm going to put 0 over here, and then negative 5 1/4 can go down here. Probably the easiest strategy with these problems is to go to a friendly number first, which in this case is 0. So we're adding 7 3/4, so that's definitely going to get us at least to 0. Because if I'm at negative 5 1/4 and I add 5 1/4, that would get me to 0. And then from there, it's like we're breaking up this 7 3/4. We've broken it up into 5 1/4. That would leave us with 2 wholes left, but also 2/4 left. So I'm going to go up that last amount, and that would get us to positive 2 2/4, which is the same as 2 1/2. Alright, very last one. Sloppiest line in the world. I'm going to put 0 as well. Wow, these two problems are very similar. So we're going to start at negative 7 2/10. Since we're adding, I'm going to go up, and we're adding a lot, so I know that I can stop at the friendly number 0 first. And to figure out how much left I have to go up, I could do 15 8/10 minus 7 2/10, which should give you 8 6/10. So that's the last amount that we're going to go up by. And we're at 0, and we go up 8 6/10. And that's where we would end up. Alright guys, thank you for checking all of these out. I really hope that they're helping you if you're confused at all, and I'll see you in class.